Say hello everyone. Say hello everyone. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing really well. So today I thought that Heidi could join us for a video because you haven't been on my channel for a while, have you? And the last video was your 6-month update, but she's still going to be as wriggly as ever. So today I'm going to do a video about things that I wish I knew when I was pregnant, because the time went so quickly, and when I look back, there's just not that much that I have to document the pregnancy. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about things that I wish I had done looking back. And I'm just almost jealous of people that are pregnant right now, because you've got so much to look forward to. A huge congratulations if you are pregnant and you're watching this video and thinking, what can I do to relish every single day? So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was photos. And I wish that I had had more like photos of me pregnant. There was a few selfies that I'd taken, but there was only one photo of me at my baby shower when I had an actual bump. And you can't really tell the size of bump either, because I had like an oversized jumper. It was a surprise baby shower, and so I just certainly wasn't dressed for the occasion. But there's literally only that photo. There's not that many other photos of me like with a big bump, and I really wish there was, because it just has gone so quickly, and I almost can't remember having a bump now either. It goes so quickly, especially I feel like it took me so long to like properly pop out, and it wasn't until I was like 32 weeks pregnant onwards did I really feel like I had like the biggest baby bump ever. So I just wish that there was more photos of that. But yeah, just take so many more photos. I feel like as well, time goes so quickly when you're pregnant, and when you look back you think literally that was the quickest 9 months, even though some days certainly didn't feel like it. I had some really bad symptoms. Don't get me wrong, my pregnancy definitely wasn't as bad as other people's, and I only suffered with morning sickness for 4 weeks, and it was like at a set time of a morning. Instead of, I know some people struggle with it like literally every single day, and I had bad cramps at night, but even in those moments, it still goes so quickly when you look back. So just enjoy every moment and every symptom, good or bad, because before you know it, it's over, and then you've got a baby, and then I just don't remember being pregnant. It's really bizarre. And you'll certainly miss being pregnant when it's gone, so just enjoy it as much as you can. So the next thing I want to say is, don't worry about the birth as much as you might be doing. I spent the last 2 weeks of being pregnant so worried about the birth and the process that I actually developed a skin condition, because I was so stressed and I was so anxious. That was the whole time I had from when I finished work to having her. I spent every day in absolute like dread and just anxiety ridden. Whereas those 2 weeks should have been the 2 weeks that I should have been relaxing the most, and I should have been taking it easy, but my mind was doing honestly somersaults at the thought of giving birth. So I would just say, like, don't worry about it as much as you probably will. I know that no matter what people said to me, I still worried and I was still anxious, and I was just so scared that when I was in labour, it was the biggest relief. Despite how much pain I may have been, despite the fact I ended up having to have a C-section, my relief was that it was over. And so many people would say to me, like, when I first gave birth, like, do you miss being pregnant? And my instant reaction was no, because I was so anxious towards the end. But actually, in hindsight, I did miss being pregnant. And I think that next time around, I won't have that same anxiety, because I've done it before. And so I'll know more to what to expect. So whenever I do finish work, despite the fact I'll have Heidi as she'll be a lot older, because hopefully it won't happen for a few years yet, that was like the worst time of me being pregnant. Whereas I don't think I'll have that the next time. Obviously I don't know what my next pregnancy will be like, but that was the worst 2 weeks of my whole pregnancy, and I just wish I hadn't have worried so much, because at the end of the day, like, what will be, and there's not much you can control, so you just go with the flow. At the end of the day, literally every woman that has a child has done it. You'll be okay, and just take it easy. At the end of the day, there's not much you can do to control how you're going to give birth or when it will happen. So just take every day like as it comes, just relax as much as possible. It's definitely something I didn't do in those last 2 weeks, and then you don't realise that you probably will never have that opportunity to do that again. So the next thing is to do with the birth as well, and a lot of my worry as well as giving birth was staying in hospital. I feel like that before I went in, I would have done anything and everything to just not stay in hospital. Whereas when I look back now, even the night stayed in hospital was so precious because you do so much skin to skin. You have nurses caring for you, helping you try and feed if that's what you're trying to do. And they're so supportive. I mean, I was really lucky with my maternity unit that they were so supportive, and my experience staying in hospital, despite how much I dreaded it, was fine, and I was really comfortable in the sense of I didn't feel like I didn't want to be there all the time. And I think when you're there with your baby, that's all that matters. And I honestly had so much dread at staying in the hospital. Earlier last year, I'd lost a family member in the same hospital, so in the build-up, that was playing on my mind that I'd be in the same hospital that he didn't manage to come out of. But when I was there and she was here, honestly, that's all I thought about was her and Rich, and that's it. You're in your own little bubble, and those first few days are the most precious ever. So just enjoy it. Don't spend too much time worrying. Staying in hospital is a really good idea as well because you have so much support of the midwives, and when you come out, obviously you have health visitors or you have midwives come out to you for a couple of times, but other than that, you don't get the support like you did then. So I would just say take all the support that you can of having midwives there, like for you 24/7. Ask as many questions as you want to ask. Like Richard never changed a nappy before, and a midwife showed him how to do that. And it's just things like that that you don't realise how helpful it is, again, until you come out and look back. So I spent a lot of time worrying about that, but don't worry. It will be what it will be. It will be okay, and you're going to have your baby at the end of it, which is like the most precious thing. The other thing that I wish I knew when I was pregnant was not to buy so many small clothes. I feel like I bought so many 0 to 3 clothes. She just struggled to go in everything, honestly. The amount of like clothes we got from friends and family, which was so kind, but I bought so many clothes, and I bought loads of white clothes. Again, just not always practical. They're gonna probably get pooped on and thrown up on, and you just don't need as many as I ended up buying. Even though I knew not to buy that many, I still did. And obviously, don't get me wrong, it's a fun thing in pregnancy, especially your first pregnancy, buying everything for the first time. It almost makes it feel a little bit real, because for so long for me it didn't feel real. But just think practically, and don't go too overboard too early either, because if you have a baby shower, you might get some lovely gifts from friends and family. My mum, I know, just bought so many clothes for her that, again, she's just not worn everything that my mum's kindly bought her, because they're literally in those types of clothes for like 3 months max. So just don't go overboard with things. Make sure you've got the essentials if you don't already towards the end of your pregnancy, but chances are you've probably got more than enough. So I kind of touched on it when I said that I wished I had more photos of my bump, but I kind of wish, I love the fact that my baby shower was a surprise, but I kind of wish I had worn something nicer, truly. I know there's so many people that have organised their own baby showers, and the way that mine was done, I would not have changed it for the world. Rich's sister and like his parents and my parents put on the most amazing surprise. I had no idea, and I didn't even expect to have a baby shower, truly. It just wasn't something that I'd thought of. Rich took me shopping for the day, and when we came back, it was like the biggest surprise. I didn't even really get any photos because it was such a shock. I was so overwhelmed. I kind of just didn't realise, like, normally I take loads of photos, but there were so many friends and family over that I didn't even think to stop, if that makes sense. So I kind of wish I'd worn something nicer, like going back, just worn something nicer, like to go shopping in. I wouldn't have changed the surprise for anything, but I just wish I had like bought more maternity clothes so that I wasn't wearing the same oversized jumper and leggings like 6 out of the 7 days of the week. Something else that I wish that I'd known when I was pregnant was not to stress about her name as much as I probably did, because I ended up getting my own way in the end anyway. There was a lot of debate in the house whether or not to call her Heidi. Rich completely vetoed it when we found out she was a girl, but by the end came around to it because there just wasn't a name that we both liked as much as I liked Heidi, and now obviously we could not imagine her being called anything else. It's weird to think that they could have been called anything because they just become their own person, but I worried so much about the name and like the pressure of trying to find a name that we both liked. And so many people I know are in the same boat, but again end up getting their own way anyway. Another thing that I was really worried about when I first found out I was pregnant actually, and then it was coming up to like the 3-month mark where you like tell people you're pregnant, and I did like a pregnancy announcement on Facebook. I remember being so worried after I put that up that I'd kind of lose my identity a little bit, and I was worried that people wouldn't see me as being the same, and I was just really worried about it, and I don't really know why, and I didn't anticipate feeling worried about that, but I did. However, like, your identity of course changes with everything you do in life, so whilst I wouldn't say I lost my identity, and I certainly haven't, but I've just become a very different person, and that's something that I'm happy to admit too. I was so worried about becoming a different person or people view me differently, whereas now I am just what I am. I'm a mum, and the things that I do are not just for me, but they're for Heidi as well. But it did take me a long time to come around to the terms that people are going to see me very differently, and I think as well because you've kept it a secret for so long, you almost feel like you could probably keep it a secret for a bit longer, even though I think that I started showing it about 4 months, so I couldn't. And I was just really worried. I guess you just anticipate it, and especially for the first time, like it was my first pregnancy, so I just did not know what to expect. But I think I'm a very like skeptic person, and I always think negatively, so that was my biggest worry. But again, if you're like me and you're worried about that, just don't, because there's no need to, honestly. Another thing to do with the white clothing is don't buy too many white clothes for 6 months onwards. I've made that mistake, and weaning is messy. It's like she's in a sleep suit at the moment because we're about to have some lunch, and I know that she's gonna get it everywhere. I like keeping dinner time fun and lunchtime fun and messy, and so she explores all these different tastes. I don't want to like stop her getting messy with it, but sometimes like getting stains out of clothes is so hard, and like baby food is all sorts of colours, like nothing is white. The last thing is that you don't need to read every single book that's out there. I remember trying to like thinking that I needed to read everything and like needed to read all these articles about how to do things, but you don't realise how much is going to come to you naturally. So again, just don't stress about those types of things. If you want to do some reading and it's going to make you feel better, of course do so, but it's not essential. It's weird how like maternal you become once you have a baby and they're here, and everything just changes so dramatically, but you literally know so much more than you may think. I remember someone else saying that in like a video I watched, and I was like, I know nothing. Like literally, I've not even looked after like a family member's baby before, so I have no idea what to expect, but it just came so naturally. And even now, I might not know how to do everything, I might not do it perfectly how everyone should be doing it, but I'm doing it my way, and Heidi remains happy, and that's literally all that matters. But it's just weird how much you know. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. It's kind of weird looking back and thinking that I was pregnant, honestly. Honestly, it feels like my pregnancy was so long ago, and even giving birth to her was so long ago. And I think 9 months is going to be a really scary age because it's going to really bring it in. But yeah, that's basically everything that I wish I'd known when I was pregnant. Let me know down below if there's anything that you wish you had done, and to give any advice for any other pregnant people out there. Congratulations if you are expecting as well. It is like the best time of your life coming, so enjoy every minute, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!